A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that.
I'm just gonna start at the beginning, with the house. I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms. Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it. As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house. I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me. Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11. For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one. Like how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly. Or how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot. The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture. Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit. Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library. My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive. After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes. My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin. The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947. I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan, but I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back. I kept eating and eating. I ate a lot of things that night. Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. Mom and Dad didn't even look at me. I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits. I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit. She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark. I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals. Tasted really good. So hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. was big, but I moved real quiet.
Yeah! Ah!
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't. After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe. I got closer and closer. All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have. I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors. This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom.
It was a pretty big trace. There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book. From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing. After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again. The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies. Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star. I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent. She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
edge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there?
Ah!
Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And really was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet. The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. she had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box was all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending. I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara. A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night. Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot. I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Ah, okay, that's been off this whole time. That's good. One time I don't do like a proper sound check.
Now we can.
Yeah, no, the microphone was just has been off this whole time. Good, good. It's been 45 minutes. Great. All right, that's fine. The game kind of speaks for itself. I haven't been adding much. But hello. Greetings and salutations. How you doing, Granny? Welcome to the Edith Finch thing. I'm real mad. I literally just played 45 minutes of this game without voice, apparently. How you doing? Got no kind of flashlight. What is this?
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive the week. after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly.
I'm eating peaches. Look at these peaches. Goddamn peaches. How you doing, Granny? You gonna do anything today?
And then one day,
I suppose it's already...
everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe you got tired of waiting.
Nice. What you playing?
Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid.
Peaches. Hundreds of peaches.
It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave. Well, I still can.
Yeah, this is one of those walking simulators that's fun stuff.
I don't know.
Oh,
I am
no.
looking into Leo's fortune. It looks funny.
Leo's Fortune, huh? I hadn't heard of that.
I know it's out there somewhere.
What kind of game is that?
Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day.
I mean,
even if it
He's
kills
a green
me.
ball of fur.
Leo? Or this
With a
guy?
mustache.
Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it.
Leo.
I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month.
Good evening,
Or
everyone.
a single week.
Hey, it's Paya.
I'd be happy with one new day.
Welcome, Paya.
I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Hit by a train. Chicka-chicka-cha. Dead on sight.
Walter died when I was 6.
How
I can't
was
believe my
railway
mom never
biking?
told me he was down here.
It's ironic.
Hey, Granny and Demento.
Careful with that railway biking. We just saw a guy get hit by a train.
I'm sure
Does
my
he
mom was trying to
know
protect
where to go?
me.
Come on. There we go. You know what I need to play again at some point? I need to play Bound for y'all.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter.
Bound was a lot of fun. That was more of a platformer than a pure
But
story
if she never
game.
told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I
It's the
don't want to
garbage
make
pit.
the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive.
Where am I at? I'm in the darkness.
Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself
Spooky.
and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem.
Yep.
Maybe we believed so much in a family curse
We made it real.
Oh, hello, Walter. Well, no chance of a train coming through here anymore. Those are chairs.
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
Yeah, no. Once you write your story, you die. That's the story, isn't it?
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
We'll put these lights out here.
But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of.
Is there something out here? What is that?
Just sent you a pic of Leo on Discord.
Okay. Hey, what time was Mig starting today? Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, that's an interesting furball. Oh, here we go.
LOL.
Here we go. Back to the house.
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
Mix doesn't he start today?
I think the people in these stories believed them.
Is it Monday or is it Tuesday? It was Tuesday.
He's streaming tomorrow.
Oh. I got real confused about his schedule, then I gotta go look at it again.
Tom and Thursday.
Okay, yeah. Alright, I misread the schedule then. That's right. He starts his thing on with a Monday, doesn't he? Man, that confuses the shit out of me.
Had that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness. Any of it seems possible.
Man, who doesn't bring a flashlight to a situation like this? I can't see shit.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it.
So it works.
What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
Your family, from the sound of things.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one.
Oh, goodness.
3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault. Sven built the house, but it was Edith who designed the cemetery.
Spooky.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My
Yeah,
mom
obviously.
was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
Is there gonna be a
She could see
spooky-
it poking out of the water at low tide.
Oh, God.
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Man, that sucks. You almost made it. With your whole house.
Are there jump scaries in this?
No.
Emoji flushed face, emoji fearful face.
This is not
I
a
hate
horror
jump
game.
scaries.
That's the thing I gotta stress the most. This is not a horror game. This is just a walking simulator with a really spooky undertone. No, this is like a story game. This is just the story of this family and all the wacky bullshit that they've gone through. Where do I go from here?
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand.
It's about family.
But the older I get, the more
It is
I
about
can see
family.
where my mom was coming from.
It is about family. It's about the spookiest family that ever was.
Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers.
Not really.
She was just trying to do better.
It's basically the family is this curse where everybody keeps dying. In like weird
She
and
lost
spooky
2
ways.
of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come
God.
back someday.
That looks
And
unsafe.
find everything out for myself.
Going up the ladder. Yeah, no, this is not a scary game. This is just a dramatic, like, well, not suspenseful, but, like, spooky mystery thing.
But looking back on it now...
Say it in the accent.
I'm not saying it in the accent.
If she told me there was going to be so much climbing...
I'm not going to do it Vin Diesel.
When I was 22 and pregnant.
Oh, I don't remember.
LOL.
That was weeks and months ago. I'm lucky to remember what I ate yesterday. Talking about the Vin Diesel accent? I usually do the Vin Diesel accent. It's about family.
I thought it was the Godfather, but you said it wasn't.
I think he and
No,
my
it's
mom
Vin
had
Diesel.
one
Vin
common.
Diesel's the... Okay, so the original family meme is the Godfather thing, but the one that most people use is the Fast and Furious Vin
They were
Diesel.
both
It's
pretty
about
intense.
family. Yeah. Where am I? What am I doing here? What's here?
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way
Oh
to
yeah,
meet
Mitzi
it.
has the sound alert.
Oh, nice. I have to find that one.
Lurking brother.
Oh, cool, cool. Appreciate you sitting here and hanging out with me, Matt. Let's see what
Big
Sam's
round
death
emoji
has to do
face
with.
blowing a kiss.
Mhm.
Has anyone told you that you look like Jason Momoa? Hi, Matt.
Constantly. Yes. All the time.
Dawn,
I display a
promise,
fetus.
you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
I'm not.
These memories
I'm,
are going to last
I'm
a
Matt.
lifetime.
I'm another Matthew, just like you. Hail Matanya.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
What?
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's this. Okay, got it.
This
I'm
whole.
gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
I display a he is the real Jadongo. The other one is fake. Emoji rolling on the floor laughing. Maddie
You're right, Dad,
Maddo,
it's starting to
emoji
clear up.
flushed face.
Still freezing, though.
Jason LOL.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hmm.
Hey!
Got him.
That's a keeper.
Nice.
I'm just saying, I'm not always going to be here, Dawn.
Lucky for his
You'll
wife.
need to remember this stuff.
And
If you want to
girlfriend.
survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
I'm Polly,
You know
honey.
who else thought he was going to be
Lucky
fine?
for anyone who's
Some guy
interested.
who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious.
Oh, hello.
Doesn't being out here make you want to... Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn.
Super not interested in that fucking deer. I don't care. I want the bird. The bird is the
Before you
word.
take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Matt, how is life treating you lately?
Yeah, I've been curious too. I hadn't seen you stream in the last couple of days. I hadn't had the chance to jump on one of your other streams.
Matt lives in Europe to pay a he.
Oh, I know. Oh, you're talking about it. Sorry. Ohio lives
Different country though.
in good Europe. Matt just lives in regular Europe. What am I looking for? Oh, hello.
Dad,
LOL.
I...
Hey Maddie. Where are you?
Let me get behind you.
Oh god, this is how he dies.
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn!
Ow, that's pretty bad.
I think he's lurking.
Oh, he's lurking. Yeah, he said he was gonna.
I think he's in England.
He's definitely in England. I can tell you that objectively. She's so sad.
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Granny Gomer 71 I can't lurk with the question. Emoji beaming face with smiling eyes. Life is great.
Sorry, Dawn, just gotta reset the timer.
Taking a holiday, so I'm home alone and living the bachelor life. Okay, I've been to England many times. I hope you're well.
Oh, I gotta physically move my body up here.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Dawn. Just
UK,
focus on the camera.
England and
Try not
Kent.
to think about
Dad!
Yay.
And there he goes. That's how he died.
I've
Man,
been
that
to
sucks.
England too.
I want to go to England.
Of all these stories,
I was
that's the
fine.
one I wish
I
most
really want
that
to
my
go
mom had
to
told me.
Japan, honestly. I was born there. Am I going to get through this whole game today? I guess since Migs isn't streaming, I don't have to worry about that. Man, I got real confused about what day it
Bristol,
was.
London.
Nice. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Matt. I know it's not a pleasant place to be. This place, I don't like. I live in Texas. I've lived in
Only
Texas.
Sam spent his
Miami and
life shooting
Orlando.
photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the
Brighton and
camera.
London for me.
I guess we're all afraid of something.
Oh, you've been to, like, weird tourist America. I live in hot as balls with nothing
I'm
to
1
show
hour
for
from
it.
London.
Nice.
I went to King's Road in the mid-80s.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost
And
a lot.
Madame Tussauds.
Here, I'm gonna turn y'all down just a tad. There we go.
When the punks were out in full force.
Oh, that's a terrifying baby over there. Let's go look at that. Oh no.
Granny Gomer 71 you been more times than me then. Emoji beaming face with smiling eyes. I am 1 hour by plane from London or maybe 4 or 5 minutes.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone?
I hate
Like,
London because I
something
hate
funny was
people
happening, but
LOL.
only he could see it.
I dispaya that's cool paya.
This
I
is
think
me.
he saw things the rest of us don't.
Maddie Matt I hear you.
I can control the duck.
Paya is in idyllic Sweden, where there are no people. Laughing.
Time's over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie.
Uh-oh.
Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
Only trees.
I wonder what he saw.
I'm moving in.
What his world was like.
Yeah, same actually. Sweden's kind of ideal.
It reminded me so much of Calvin.
The zoo!
Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was, he saw.
Calvin is my fiance.
I don't know if you were here for the Calvin segment. Don't let him near any swings, alright?
This game is strange.
Yeah, it's a wacky story. I think I gotta do this. to hit something? Oh wait, let's try to get that whale down here.
Sure made him happy.
Come on. Gotta flip him over. There it is.
Why are they playing the Nutcracker Suite?
I'm not really sure. There's been a couple of, like, straight up references of stuff lately. Okay, I gotta jump off of this frog. This is such a weird segment. Come on.
I know how silly it sounds. But I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could.
You might like the I Am Fish
Maybe
game.
if I hadn't called that night.
I might.
Damn it.
Uh-oh.
Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw.
Yeah, water. Hell yeah.
Hey, there's so much I don't understand.
Look at me go!
About everything.
Demento, how long have you lived in Texas?
Oh man, years and years. Definitely at least a decade this run, but I've been back and forth most of my life.
I'm sure he's happy.
And then the baby went down the drain.
Oh yeah, your family lives
Good luck,
there.
Kay.
The bathtub expanded.
Yeah, though there's a lot of metaphor thrown on top of some of these stories. So most of the stories aren't literal, necessarily.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for
Reminds me a
Gus,
little of Little
who
Nightmares.
always said the wedding was a bad idea.
Yeah, Little Nightmares is along the same lines in terms of narrative.
Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but
Hey,
Gus stood
how is
far
your
apart,
vacation coming
just flew
along?
his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
Are you doing any baking?
I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, "We don't need a stepmom," were the words that I
now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Alright, where am I going?
No baking, emoji smiling face with sunglasses. I am enjoying to be outdoors
When the time for
mostly.
photos came, Dad ordered him to
Come here.
But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
This fucking kite, fuckers.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
Let's go inside the tent. Super Kite Man. Where am I going? Where am I going?
Did you see the rail bike Brannigomer 7-1?
Oh, here we go.
rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made.
Never seen anything like it.
I want to see a rail bike. Probably check some stuff out after I finish up here. I don't know how long I'm going to go. I'm already at an hour 13. I don't know how long this game is.
4 p.m. on the rail this afternoon.
Where is the... There you are.
The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power.
So
And all my father said was, make the music louder.
Can you rank the bike? No, that's an old rail.
Right.
Sweetie is cooler than us. Yes, we rank the bikes.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
And then he was dead.
That's awesome.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Okay. Gus. I can't look back through the peephole. Just seems suspicious.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
It's a big theme here is trying to get away and just going up in the house.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English.
Nice.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
And then he died.
Louis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal, but it didn't last.
Nothing ever does.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Then he died.
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
I'm sure there's a way to get in. Yep. There we go. I'd almost call this a breaking and entering simulator, but it's not quite that, because this is technically your house.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Paintbrush. Ooh. No, pick it up. And flip through it. This is way too long for the size of a flip book.
I need to lurk for a few.
You're good.
Cool game, thank you for streaming it.
Oh yeah. I'm just a little mad that it kind of seems like I might finish this in one go. There aren't too many people left.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
I mean, story games like this don't
Mom
tend to
spent
be
months
too
searching
long.
for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Magic. Some kind of strange magic. Yeah, but they just kept building up, which makes absolutely no sense to me.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Louis's room. Except Louis.
Of course. Guy looks like he's pretty chill. I like story games like this. I wish I had access to more of them. I definitely need to get Stray. Katie wants that. Katie wants to stream
Louis's
that.
room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Louis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Louis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander.
Oh. Oh.
I asked him to
Okay.
describe it.
I'm doing this with the other stick.
He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Louis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Louis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Louis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play.
This is a weird game. I love it.
He talked about starting a band. and he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won.
Of course he did.
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Sorry, I gotta plug in the controller before it dies, because it will die.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis.
Of course, St. Louis.
He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a beautiful prince.
Look at the sparkles. Give me this game. Bucket boat trips in
The
it.
prince was on his own quest for
Let's do some more shit.
radiant rainbows. He followed the sound of his electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon.
That's a thing. But hey,
Even
I
then,
crashed into
his
the pier.
logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
Give me the fish. Come on, I'm ready for it.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me.
Sounds about right.
It was hard to argue with him.
Oh, that's a sudden switch.
He began to forget the world we know.
fair, this seems dismal.
I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Goodbye.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
Yeah, you didn't,
The palace would be packed with his companions.
See, any one of these could be the start of, like, its own game. Yeah, she's watching you.
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him.
Tears of joy, emoji cat with tears of joy, emoji cat with tears of joy.
Hilarious. Yeah, I know where to go, thanks. Don't need to point at it with your spear.
His prince waited, holding his crown.
That's a guillotine, guys.
There was only one thing left to do.
That's a straight up guillotine, everybody.
Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know.
Yep.
Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Well,
Emoji
that was a
face
fucking letter.
screaming in fear. Emoji face screaming in
Yeah,
fear.
no, this
My
isn't a
brother was
happy
really cool.
game.
I wish you could have met him.
This is a game about a family that just keeps dying.
He was so proud of being Indian. I think for him, it was a way to be something other than just a Finch.
No, not back in. What are you doing? Am I missing something? Oh, I am. Here we go.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed.
It's a cool ass house.
But I understand why we left.
Why is there like a whole ass kitchen up in the sky?
My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
This is my room at the top of the fucking house.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word.
Man, this is some spook shit.
Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles.
Yes,
When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
I mean, obviously she didn't know about the other entrance. That's
You're
like
afraid
literally
that
right
isn't
there.
going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born.
Spooky, a story within a story. Oh.
The tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years.
This is bad.
God,
I should not be walking.
Awful.
I should not be walking through this. This is what happens when you blow up the ocean.
Every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it.
Spooky.
When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
It's literally in front of you.
I got turned around. For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things.
That's not supposed to be there.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
No, give me that.
Mom, you're gonna rip it. Let go. I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the band came to pick her up, but she was already gone.
No. How dare you abduct me?
After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly.
You shouldn't have moved away from the fucking...
She got better for a while. And then she didn't.
Yes, you moved away from the source of your power.
And then I was alone.
The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is.
Spooky.
This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
Oh, dang. I'm being born. Help. I didn't ask for this.
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
That was it. That was it. That was the whole game. Actually got it done in an hour and 40. Huh. Ain't bad. So that was pretty crazy.
Okay.
It's a good game. I mean, I'd have to say, yeah, that was that was it. I mean, it was a walking simulator. I knew from the beginning it was going to be like a story-based short game. But, yeah, that was pretty cool. That was some shit. I like story games like this. Like I said, one of the ones I really want to play again is Bound. That one's pretty neat. That one's more of a platformer type thing. Hey, Montel. You're actually coming in at the end of the stream. Sorry. I'll sit here for a minute more, but I don't think I'm going to do anything else today. But yeah. It's, man, that was a fucking trip. No, like I said, it wasn't a scary game. It was meant to be spooky-ish. It was meant to be, like, mystery and intrigue type stuff. But you know how it is. These kinds of games, they're few and far between, but they're usually worth the play. Audio and unlockables programmer, huh? Are most of these trophies are just making it through the credits?
LOL.
Good. But yeah, I've been sitting on this game since it was free for PlayStation Plus, which I have to assume was sometime in 2017 at this point. So yeah, it's just been on my list. My wife tried to stream it a while back, but never got through it. If I had known it was this short, I would have probably pushed her through it.
We want more streaming.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, but I ain't got anything else lined up. I'm not ready to jump back into Gravity Rush. And the only other thing that I could potentially play is Dying Light, and that's a meat game, and Granny can't handle that. I got some stuff I'm trying to think about doing, but like really what I want to do is Switch stuff, and I can't stream that. But yeah, this is a good game. I'm gonna have to get Katie to watch through this. I'm just mad because like the whole first half of the stream I didn't have my mic on apparently, and I didn't realize until Granny showed up. And that was pretty bad. But again, I didn't really add much to the game. It's pretty self-narrating, obviously. I hope these aren't all like kids that have disappeared or died or something. That'd be really fucking spooky. Maybe this is probably just the credits, and they all just use their kid pictures. That's what I'm gonna believe. But yeah, this was fun. I mean, this was neat. Oh, do I have anything else that I could potentially play right now? No, I need to go to bed is what I need to do. Yeah, I need to get ready for bed. It's 1 now. And I got a heavy load tonight to deal with, so we'll see how that goes. Whoa. The end. Tatum. So that was pretty cool. Replay a story. Alright, yeah, so that's it.
Have a good day's sleep. Emoji smiling face with smiling eyes.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. We'll see how that goes. My sleep has not been easy lately. But I appreciate everybody for stopping by. I appreciate the devs that made this game. Made it as short as it is, but also made it fucking really interesting. If you ever get the chance, it's worth playing through yourself, but the story's pretty much the same. Alright, I'm gonna sign off now. Y'all have fun. Yeah. Okay, bye. Oh, wait. Ha! Yeah, no, screw it. Alright, y'all have fun. Okay, bye.